students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope that all of you are having a superb weekend so far. I hope that you're staying healthy and staying strong. Students, we're looking at IELTS Speaking Part 3, and we're going to be talking about teachers and curricula. Now, if you were here in the previous class, such as Fuang and Chayani, then you will remember that we just completed a speaking part 2 30 minutes ago, talking about good skills that we learned in school. So we are continuing with that topic because part 3 is really a continuation of part 2. So they're connected. The IELTS examiner in the speaking section will say, that is the end of part 2. We will now continue with part 3. For this part, I will ask you a question related to your response and some questions connected to the topic of part 2. So part 2 was learning valuable skills in school. So it's no surprise that part 3 focuses on teachers and curricula. Curricula, of course, is curriculum in the plural form. Welcome, Jeanette. Hi, Game. Hi, Zippy, Zia, Riyadh, Bishwa. Good to see many students in the class. This is an all-chat class, everybody, so everybody is welcome to watch. And again, we're using aehelp.com to practice speaking in this class. And also for general IELTS students, you can use gieltshelp.com. Those are the websites that power these lessons. Make sure to sign up for those websites when you have a moment. This is our academic IELTS website. Here you can get access to the premium package by clicking that big red button that's just above my head there. One-time payment, lifetime access. We're an IDP affiliate. We're a British Council partner, IELTS Test Registration Center. And we use these websites for our live classes, the audio, the practice exams. So if you want to learn with us every day, definitely a good idea to join these many students who have passed the IELTS using our materials. So check us out, and we'll be using this today as well. You can use the code SOUND9 for a 10% discount. That's coming from our most recent IELTS video release on the channel. Adrian at aehelp.com, that's where you can send your emails. I'll put that in the chat as well. Here you go. If you have questions, comments, concerns, just send us an email. Adrian at aehelp.com or admin at aehelp.com. Welcome, Sarah, our chat moderator. If you have some questions, you can also ask Sarah. She can answer many of your questions. She has successfully completed the IELTS exam also. So go for it. No question should be left unanswered. All right, everyone. Our schedule, December 17th to the 24th. We've got this speaking part 3 class right now. Then we've got a couple of days off as usual, and then I am back on the 22nd with speaking part 1. To see the schedule, to get notifications for the live classes and new videos, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button on the channel page. I think you can see it somewhere there in the live stream as well. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, get notifications, know when these classes are happening so you can join them, you can practice your speaking, and you are golden. Students, the latest video that we put out on the channel, karaoke style speaking. It is awesome, it is fun, it will improve your English. There it is in the chat. Check that out when you have a second. Now, let's get into IELTS speaking part 3. Here we go. All right. So speaking part 3, people tend to find it challenging, which is understandable. IELTS is a progressive exam, so the questions and the sections get more and more difficult as you go along, or the speaking parts. So, you have to just stay calm and focus and do your best. Just be yourself. So here the examiner will say, that is the end of part 2. Now let's talk about part 3. For part 3, I will ask you a question related to your response and some questions connected to the topic of part 2. So while you're giving your part 2 response, they listen to what you say in part 2, and especially when you give a good response, they will ask you a question that is directly connected. One of the reasons they do that is to make sure you're not just trying to memorize answers in English, which of course is silly. So part 2, everybody remembers what we talked about for part 2? We talked about learning financial management in high school. So based on the answer, okay, what kind of a question do you think the examiner might ask you? Remember the part 2 response? I said that one of the useful skills I learned in high school just before summer was financial management from life skills class from the teacher named Miss Withers, because she knew that we would soon be making money and we needed to learn how to effectively handle money. And I have been applying those financial management skills in monthly budgeting. So what kind of a question? There are so many different questions that the examiner can kind of think of. They usually think of the W questions, like what, when, where, why, and then sometimes how. What kind of a question do you think the examiner might ask following this response? So Romelia says maybe they'll ask something like this. Do you think people's financial habits have changed? Yeah, Romelia, they might. Sure, why not? Okay. Usually the question, Romelia, will be directed at you. So here, yes, I think that it has changed. I believe that people have been spending more in this past decade. However, with the looming recession, now people are trying to save money and splurge less on luxuries. Okay, so that could be an answer. Just repeat after me. And this was Romelia's suggestion, and it's possible the examiner could ask you this question if you talk about financial management. So the question is, do you think people's financial habits have changed? Again, repeat after me. This is speaking, everybody, and you're going to speak, and I want you to repeat and speak lots, okay? So repeat and speak. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So do you think people's financial habits have changed? Yes, I think it has changed. I believe that people have been spending more in the past decade. However, with the looming recession, now people are trying to save money and splurge less on luxuries. Splurging means kind of spending a lot of money unnecessarily, or just spending a lot of money on yourself. Zvippy is asking a question. Zvippy says, Adrian, I have a question for part 3. How many sentences should I say? Zippy, yes. It depends on the question, but 2 to 3 sentences, okay, on average. So 2 to 3. Okay. Domenico, splash out. Not so much. Okay. Or Dominic. Dominic. My bad. We have a Domenico, and yeah, it's Dominic. LF. Yeah, it's not Domenico, right? You didn't change your handle, or did you? To Dominic? Because Dominic and Domenico are two different kind of names, or I guess Dominic can be a nickname for Domenico. Okay, anyway, back to target here. So yeah, or the examiner might ask you a question like this, and students, I want you to give me some nice full sentence answers here. The examiner might ask you a question that's like this: what financial advice would you give to a new high school graduate today? Okay, so if you are my IELTS student and you tell me about a great idea that you learned in school, and the idea is financial management, and you give me that answer, I would ask you this question. I would ask you, what financial advice would you give to a new high school graduate today? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Okay. So give me a nice full sentence answer. Okay, keep it simple. Keep it simple. So what financial advice would you give to a new high school graduate today? Okay. So I would say something like this. Well, I would suggest the fresh graduate to save as much money as possible right away and invest it into commodities until the end of the recession, because these types of stocks go up in value during difficult economic times. All right, let's see what you come up with. So Raquea says, I think I would give them a very useful financial management tip: spending money on necessary things and not on luxury items. Okay, sure. Romelia says, I'd recommend a more minimalistic approach, less is more, to always reconsider what they spend on, to ask themselves, is this object really necessary? Alexander says, I'd advise them not to borrow from banks until a person has a guaranteed stable income. Alexander, that is very smart advice. Do not get a credit card when you're a young adult unless you have good income. Dillafru says, I would recommend students to save up some money for a gap year so that they can enjoy life. All right. Dominic says, although it's not my wheelhouse, teachers should tell students to spend less money on high-end objects if they don't need them because of the increased cost of living. Good. Those are some good answers, students. I'm reading the chat there. So again, remember, IELTS Speaking Part 3, they will ask you a specific question that's related to your response. That's what they're instructed to do. Now, then they continue with some more questions related to the topic of Part 2. So they'll say, okay, let's talk about school curriculum. Okay. So first, it's a good idea to think about what school curriculum is. What is school curriculum? Definition. What is curriculum? What is the school curriculum? It is the information, the structure and content of information taught in schools according to a specific schedule, right? So I can't read the Cyrillic, but it's the school program, another way, right? Good, it's a nice synonym, the school program. Exactly. Yep. Rahim Jean says it's the set of subjects taught in school. Yeah, good. Romelia says it's kind of like the syllabus. It is a syllabus is a little bit different, Romelia, but kind of the same concept. The syllabus is the outline, right? It is an outline, kind of like a syllabus, for the semester. Okay, so again, make sure to repeat and speak. Here, what we're doing is we're thinking about the topic, the idea, and some important vocabulary. So let's talk about school curriculum. Repeat, curriculum. The plural form of curriculum is curricula. Okay, curriculum, curricula. Structure, content, information taught in schools according to schedule. The subjects taught in schools, the school program, the outline for the information in the classes, kind of like a syllabus. Okay, the step-by-step procedures and content for the semester. Copy as many of those words as you can, what you're hearing from me. Okay. All right. And then the examiner will get into it. So they'll start asking you some questions. And questions are usually paired like this. In your practice speaking at home, you can see that for part 3, they're often kind of together. There's 2 of them like that together. It's to show that part 3 is connected and it's kind of a conversation. So you need to use connections. You need to sound like a conversation. Here's the question. What are the most common subjects taught in schools? Give me a good answer to this question, okay? What are the most common subjects taught in schools? Think about what you learned in elementary school, middle school, high school. You should be able to come up with it, okay? Jasur Beck says, I think there might be 3 that are popular subjects taught in schools, namely math, physics, and foreign languages, since they are required by many universities. Anahita says, English and religious studies are subjects which are taught in different parts of the world. The reason is that English is an international language and most nations believe. Marco says, mathematics. This is Marco Margarita. Says, mathematics and foreign languages are probably the most common subjects in schools. These subjects have a crucial importance because they give the right base for every aspect of life. For instance, don't use for instance, Marco. The examiner will interrupt you. Okay. Let's try. A lot of people are saying math and English, so let's do that one, okay? I believe the most popular topics that are taught in educational institutions are English and math, because the former is the global language used for business and tourism, and the latter is the universal language used in science. I have been speaking English learned in school whenever I travel. All right. Answer, explanation, example. That is the key to a Band 9 answer. Okay. And of course, after that, you can think of vocabulary, grammar, grammatical range. Okay. So you want to think about answer, explanation, example, and sure, math and English. I believe the most popular topics, common subjects. Okay, let's paraphrase that as popular topics, right? Schools, sure, why not? Let's show some more vocabulary there. Educational institutions are English and math. Because right away, giving my explanation, the former in this case, and this is used in writing as well as speaking, so means English, and latter means math. Let me do that again so it's a little bit easier for you to see. So we have former means English, and latter means math. Okay. So the former is the global language used for business and tourism, and the latter is the universal language used in science. And then smooth example with a present perfect, right? I have been speaking English learned in school whenever I travel. Okay? So practice with me. One more time. I believe the most popular topics that are taught in educational institutions are English and math, because the former is a global language used for business and tourism, and the latter is the universal language used for science. I've been speaking English that I learned in school whenever I travel. Okay, so that's your full sentence answer. Now, the examiner will ask you a follow-up question. Why are these important? What should you say? Like if you gave this kind of an answer, right? Then at this point you might be like, what? So you might be going, well, I already gave you that answer, right? And that happens, right? So some of you might be thinking, well, I just gave you that answer. What more do you want me to say? Well, more. Give me more details, right? Okay. So you can always say more. Humans, we always got lots of information. So you should never kind of be stuck in this like, oh, I already answered that question. Some examiners, when they think you answered the question, they will just go to another question. But some examiners, especially new examiners, they really stick to the method. So even though you might give them the explanation, like here, because the former is the global language and the latter is the universal language, they're going to still ask you, why are these so popular? And then you can't be like, well, I just said that. So you have to give more detail, okay? So give more detail, and you can give more detail, okay? Give me an answer with more details. Let's see how many of you come up with some clever ways to give more details to this. Okay? Romelia says English is lingua franca nowadays, and communication would be unimaginable without it. Igrim says, obviously it is important to study these subjects because it's beneficial not only for intelligence but also for a future career path. I like it. Okay, so Igrim, this is Igrim's answer here. and it's a good one. All right. Now, Igrim, don't say obviously, okay? It's not obvious. The IELTS examiner is a stranger. They don't know what you know. Students, avoid using obviously and you know. Think about it like this. The examiner doesn't know. Okay, so think, the examiner doesn't know. You have to explain it. Okay. So, Igrim, it's good. It is important to study not those, but these. You're talking about them, these subjects, because it's beneficial to not. It's beneficial not only for intelligence, but also for future careers. Most high-paying jobs demand that a person can both speak English and be good with numbers. I'm planning to work for an international accounting firm, so these are vital skills in my future. Okay, there you go. So that would be expanding. We live in a global society where people often travel to other countries for work and school, so it is critical that they're able to communicate with their peers and coworkers. This is why I'm mastering English, so that I can do well in my studies in the US. Right? More details just coming to mind naturally. Igrim, good work. Let's repeat this. It is important to study these subjects because it's beneficial not only for intelligence, but also for future careers. Most high-paying jobs demand that a person can speak both English and be good with numbers. I'm planning to work for an international accounting firm, so these are vital skills in my future. Try it. Okay, couple of important points, everybody. Not only, but also, nice correlative conjunction. I love how people are paying attention to this. Fantastic. Okay. Both and another correlative conjunction. We're emphasizing importance, so it's very well used in this case. Okay. Notice that here there's no for example, no for instance. It's just a smooth example going that way, right? Smooth examples are good. And notice how it's short. Okay, I'm planning to work for an international accounting firm, so these are vital skills in my future. Quick, short, effective, example. Examiner will not interrupt me. I'm not saying for example. I'm not saying for instance. Okay, just right into it. All right, everybody seems to be doing fantastic. Everybody's ambitious. And some people are connecting, which is nice to see. Chundi says, as I mentioned earlier. Good. Connect and then expand, right? So let's do some volunteering for speaking, everybody. I want to spend a lot of this class on interacting with our students, speaking to students, estimating your band scores, telling you why you get those band scores, and then telling you ways to improve. Okay? To volunteer for speaking, and again, Sarah, maybe you can give me a hand with this for people who are not sure what's going on in the chat. So go to the website first. YouTube does not have a speaking interaction function. They're trying to figure that out, but it's tricky. Our website works better for it. So go to AE Help, and then go to your My Student account and find the Student Partner Speaking button. Let me show you how to do this, all right? Follow the instructions that Sarah just threw up there. Thanks, Sarah. All right, let's do it. So, there's all our awesome students who have passed IELTS. Always read those success stories. All right, so you can join the Premium IELTS package by clicking this big red button. Again, it's a one-time payment, lifetime access. We're an IDP affiliate, British Council partner, test registration center. If you're worried about using your credit card, don't be. You can use Google Pay, or you can use PayPal. All right, up to you. Different prices in different countries depending on your economy. For general IELTS, go to this website here. Now, once you log in, you'll have your My Student account, and then you'll have a lot of goodies. So you're going to have computer-based practice tests, interactive courses, books that you can print, video lessons, and then you can go to this Student Partner Speaking. Okay. Student Partner Speaking, click on it. Boom. Accept the terms that you're going to be okay being responsible for yourself. And then you will see all of these awesome students joining in, and then you can send me a message to Master. So Master, you want to find me. That's my handle. And then you will see a little blue envelope beside my name, like here with Raquea. And then you can send me a salutation like, hi, I want to speak, or let me try. Okay, so that's how you do it. Here we have one of our regular students, Domenico. Let's give Domenico a shot. Domenico looks like he's ready, and he was here in the last class too. So Domenico, are you ready? We're going to be looking for new students as well, so be brave. Are you ready, Domenico? All right, here we go. Gotta put on my ears, I won't hear Domenico. Hi, Domenico.
How are you doing?
I am doing good. So how's life in Sicily?
Well, the weather looks a little dull and gloomy. You know, we are in winter. The temperature has dropped down to 9 degrees Celsius. You know. And I try to bundle up to keep myself warm.
Right, so I can empathize with you because I live in a temperate rainforest, so I know what it means to live in dark and gloomy. We have an average of 180 days of rain in Victoria.
Yeah.
So I know what it in a year. So I know what it's like.
Besides, we are experiencing the effects of climate change. So we have had rainfalls more often than not, and floodings everywhere, landslides.
Yeah. So it's a good time to build a house on top of a mountain, right, Domenico?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Okay, Domenico, I am going to ask you some part 3 questions. Give me some answers. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Let's talk about school curriculum. What are the most common subjects taught in schools?
I believe some of the most common subjects taught at school are history, mathematics, and science. Mathematics fundamental because it helps the student gain understanding in other understanding the contents of other subjects. And on top of that, most of high-paid jobs demand
Why are
people.
these important?
Well, as I said, mathematics and other subjects help students develop thinking outside the box skills, and they are beneficial not only for intelligence, but also for future careers.
Okay, I'm going to stop there, Domenico. That was good. Domenico, 6.5 to 7. Okay. And the way that the examiner is thinking here is this is somewhere between more than fluent and good. So it's good. It's good English. I would, depending on the rest of your speaking section interview, be inching that towards that 7 for sure. What you need, so okay, let me break it down for you. Okay, here's what the examiner is thinking. Okay, so good vocabulary, mostly good grammar. There's a couple of small grammatical mistakes, but nothing major that makes the coherence difficult.
Yeah,
so mostly
I need
good
to build
grammar.
up more confidence. I know,
Yep.
because I need it's all a matter of confidence because I know the grammar, but sometimes, when I get a bit anxious, I tend to make grammatical mistakes.
It's not really the
Small
grammar.
grammatical.
It's not really the grammar though, Domenico, that's dropping it. It was kind of the fluency and the intonation. It was a bit awkward. So, and this is free. This happens with a lot of people around the world where I can tell that you're good in English. So I can tell that, when you read a book or when you watch a movie, you have no problems understanding it for the most part, other than maybe a couple of very specific types of slang or situations, multiple people speaking. But for the most part, you can enjoy movies and books in English, no problem. And of course, the situation, and this is the same situation for a lot of people, is just with the speaking, the amount of practice, right? So where you're losing marks, where you're not getting the 8, right, which would be the very good, is the level of fluency. So the examiner here is thinking fluency is slightly less than ideal for easy comprehension. Because of too many natural fillers. So you use the and the which is okay. A lot of people think that you should never use those because some teachers online, I don't know why, but they're like, you should never use those. It's not true. We use them. Everybody does. I do too. But there's a limit, right? So there's a limit to how often we use those fillers to think of ideas, to progress the conversation versus thinking of how to say, what to say, when to say, and then suddenly kind of losing the overall coherence. So that's why I kind of interrupted you with your first answer, because it felt like it was dragging on. Do you know this expression, Domenico? It's dragging on.
Yes, I
Yeah.
know.
So
Yes,
you
I
don't,
do.
yeah, so you don't want your speech to feel like it's dragging on, okay? And this is a tip for everybody. And it will come with practice, okay? So you do not want your answers to feel like they are dragging on, okay? Means that they're being stretched out really long. And another connection to that is with your second answer when you realized, okay, I need to keep this one a little bit shorter for Adrian or for the examiner so that he doesn't feel like I'm dragging my answer on. And so you said, and they are beneficial not only for intelligence, but also for future career. So never finish with awkward to be continued types of situations like so, okay? When you watch a movie or like a series, Domenico, and then
Yeah.
suddenly in a very exciting part, the movie ends and then on the screen it
So
says to be
yeah. So
continued.
yeah.
and dot dot dot
They
to
are-
be continued. And yeah, and the so yeah, exactly. And it's like, but what just happened? What happened? Where's the rest of it? Where's the other half?
So yeah, it's a common expression I hear in movies. Also, I get to hear this expression in yeah, TV series. TV series. So
Nobody likes it.
for-
Nobody likes it.
Yeah.
It's just it's a trick to get you to come back. But guess what? In the IELTS exam, you're not coming back to that examiner. So you don't want the so yeah and the so finish, right? You just finish strong, right? So just repeat after me. And they are beneficial not only for intelligence but also for careers.
and they are beneficial not only for intelligence but also for careers.
Yeah, and nice. See how you deflected there, and also for careers. So it's like like you drop it, and that's what English speakers do. They'll drop it, right? I think Italians do the same.
Yeah.
They drop the end when it's finished. And so if you say so, and then you go back up again, it's kind of like, oh, what just happened? So avoid that because it does start to sound awkward, okay? So your overall English itself, Domenico, is quite good. You just really want to do what you're doing right now, coming to these live classes, practicing with others, and then having just that strong finish, okay? Now, just a quick piece of advice, and the reason I'm giving Domenico all this advice is I'm hoping everybody else is really paying attention as well, so when you're volunteering, you can make these adjustments. You said some really great ideas. You said, I believe some of the most common subjects taught in schools are history, math, and science, and then you said mathematics are fundamental. Now, when I said, why are these subjects taught? Instead of going on about math, I would have maybe focused a little bit more on history and science, just because you already touched on math. So I would have said history is important so that people don't repeat mistakes of the past, like wars.
Yeah.
And science is important so that we can create new inventions for the future, like inventing environmentally friendly technology to save the planet.
Science, for example, is important to develop to help students develop critical thinking skills, which are fundamental for the invention of new things in the future.
New products, right? Never use things.
New products, yeah, for new products for the future.
Perfect, right? And that now is a band 8.5. So just like that. And you're giving me more diversity in your answers. So always think about, diversity but detail at the same time. Just another quick vocabulary question, because I do like to teach a bit of vocabulary. What's another way to say mathematics, Domenico?
Arithmetics.
That's right. I think that comes, you have that word in Italian too, don't you? It's kind of a Latin word, I think.
Yeah, this word comes from Latin.
Yeah.
Arithmetics.
Arithmetic. Yeah. All right, Domenico, lots of learning, lots of teaching. So
arithmetics. Yeah.
Absolutely. Arithmetics are fundamental. Yeah, and we use it in English as well. Arithmetics are, and they like to use that word a lot in school, especially. We're doing a bit of arithmetics today. So yes, absolutely. Domenico, thank you so much for volunteering and assisting me in teaching some fundamental ideas.
Thank you, you too, sir.
Bye, Domenico.
Thank you, you too, sir.
All right, that was really good. That was Domenico. Requea, I see that you saw it there, arithmetic too. All right. Okay, great. Good job, students. Let's get another student. Gokul has been waiting here so patiently. So Gokul, let's see. Did you volunteer before or not? Do you want to try? Do you want to give this a shot? Let me know, Gokul. I'm kind of reaching out to you. I'm not sure if you volunteered, but I think you were doing that last class. So Gokul, if you're there, I've seen your name, and as a premium student, I want to encourage you to try and be brave. So if you've got the setup, if you've got a microphone, a headset, if not, let me know. If you're like, well, I just can't, my phone doesn't work for this, right? Let me know. Come back to me, ping me, okay? I'll see the little yellow dot come up. So give it a shot, okay? Let's try somebody else. Let's see if we can find somebody new. This definitely seems like a new name for me. Yidnekachu. Are you ready? Yidnek says, I want to talk. All right, Yidnekachu. If you're there, here's your chance. Great support, guys, for Domenico there in the chat. That's fantastic. All right, Yidnekachu. Here we go. Hello, Yidnekachu. I hear that you picked up. I don't hear you. Make sure you enabled your microphone, your speakers on the website. It's the only way we can connect. If you denied it, it's hard to hear each other. Okay, let me know. Yidnekachu, I'm hearing a lot of silence on that end, so check your connection, check your settings, check your audio, get back to me, okay? All right, Palwasha. I think Palwasha isn't. Yeah, it's your first time. I see it there. Are you ready? Okay, so especially first-time users, check it with somebody else. You can ping somebody and say, hey, can we just exchange a few words to make sure my microphone, my speaker, my web connection are all working, and then we can connect. Okay. All right. Pawasha says, yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Pawasha.
Hi, Adrian. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm great.
All right.
It's great to hear you. Like it's my first time.
Yeah, I was just about to say I commend you for being a first-time volunteer. It's always a little bit nervous kind of step for many people, and it's a big step. So good for you for taking that leap of faith and putting yourself out there. Pawasha, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Pakistan.
From Pakistan.
Yeah, Pakistan.
All right. What city?
Karachi.
Karachi. Okay, it's a big city, right?
Yeah, of course, it is a big city, populous city of Pakistan.
I know. I'm teasing you, Pawasha. All right. And why are you taking the IELTS exam?
Actually, I have a plan to go abroad to Canada for masters. So I have almost 1 month or two to prepare. That's why I'm
Good for
planning.
you. Good for you. Yeah. I always tell people you should prepare for the IELTS exam, ideally at least a month to 2 months before your test. And if you have even more time, then you want to start early. There's a lot of people out there who they realize they need IELTS and they have 1 week to prepare, and it's a bit of a shock.
I have been preparing from back 3 months, and it's like I have 15 days left only, or maybe 20 days. That's why.
Smart. Okay. All right, Palwasha, let's do this. Are you ready for some part 3 questions?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Okay, here we go. So let's talk about school curriculum. What subjects would be good to make part of the regular school curriculum that are not currently taught?
I believe those subjects that are related to business, for example, accounting, financial management, and other subjects like computer science. In schools, these subjects are not taught at the level that is required in jobs. I believe these must be included in the curriculum.
Can you elaborate?
Because these subjects, when you go for any jobs like a software engineer, computer science is great to study earlier. It tells you about the coding and all the softwares, and accounting subjects also. When you have a background of accounting, like the business area, when you have studied earlier in the school, it helps you a lot because nowadays.
How have school curriculum changed compared to a generation before?
I think the schools are now more focusing on those subjects which are required in the current period. As far as in the past, the teachers would more focus on subjects like physics, chemistry, and mostly science subjects. But nowadays, those subjects which are required for making a career, they are also part of a curriculum
What
in
are
the
the
schools.
positive? Okay, I'm going to stop there. All right. So let me give you some feedback. First of all, that was really great. All right, first time volunteering, a little bit nervous. It's totally fine. It's okay to be a bit nervous for your IELTS exam, especially the speaking, because you're talking to a real person. But just don't be too nervous, okay? Because if you're too nervous, then it's going to hurt your mark. When people are very nervous, what happens is they either can't speak enough, so they get stuck for ideas and then they just stop speaking, or the opposite, where people are nervous and then they just keep talking and talking and talking. Okay, so you want to find the balance. A little bit nervous, it's okay, and then you want to give an answer, explanation, often include an example, and then just stop. Right? So that's the idea. You want the conversation to feel natural and not awkward. If a person's constantly interrupting you, it definitely feels awkward, right? Like if I keep interrupting you, then you're like, why are you interrupting me? That's so mean. And you don't want that, right? But the examiner has to interrupt you. They're told, interrupt the student if it feels like they're not going to stop talking, right? Because you have to ask them at least 4 to 5 part 1 questions. You have to show them the part 2 cue card, and you have to ask them at least 3 to 4 part 3 questions. So they have to interrupt you to make sure that they do that if they feel like you're not stopping, because they have a time limit, right? So my first tip for you is make sure to stop when you're done your answer, okay? All right, let me just jump back to this first question here. So I asked you what subjects would be good to make part of the regular curriculum that are not currently taught, and you said, I believe those subjects that are related to business, and then you said, for example, take out for example, because as soon as you say that, some examiners freak out. They think you're going to just go blah, 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 and then they kind of stop or interrupt you. So don't say for example. Related to business, even using something like such as instead of for example, such as accounting and financial management. Did you see the part 2 lesson that I did before this class? Because that was about financial
Yeah,
management. Yeah,
yeah,
so
you talked about the idea,
yeah, so you can
like
connect it.
where did you learn
Yeah.
those
So you
ideas?
can say, I believe those subjects that are related to business, such as accounting and financial management, which I spoke about previously. So you can relate part 2, which I spoke about previously.
Yeah, those that part, the cue card, it was all about the idea. So in that topic, we have to talk individually. But in this in this part, you have asked different questions related to curriculum.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I think that was a bit different. That's why I used something else.
Yeah. So exactly. However, keep in mind that you can relate. So making connections between your part 2 and part 3 concepts when you can, it's a really smart idea, because that's how you get those band 8, band 9. So the examiner for band 8, band 9, they're looking for strong connection. They actually have a part in their instructions that says for band 8, band 9, the speaking interview should sound like a conversation, a connected conversation. So that was good. And then you said, and computer science subjects that are not taught at the level that they needed to be, okay? And that was good. So your response for this would be like a band 7.5 to 8, okay? Because it was fluent, good pronunciation. Yeah, very nice, clear pronunciation, by the way. So good pronunciation, good grammar, very few, very slight mistakes that are almost not noticeable. So almost like a native speaker. They also make grammatical mistakes. Great vocabulary.
Thank you.
And
I'm
yeah.
I was not expecting this feedback.
Yeah,
Thanks
no, it
so much.
was really good. So for the answer so far, it was good. So it was 7.5 to 8 for this. And then the one issue was that the answer was slightly incomplete. Okay. So here, you should have given the reason. Always keep the reason in mind, and then don't overspeak. So, and computer science that are not taught at the level they are needed at the workplace, because including these subjects will make it easier for graduates to find a job.
And is it was my answers relevant? Like what you asked, did I answer the same question? What you asked?
Yes. So the first answer was very relevant. Absolutely. Okay. Your first answer was the strongest. Okay. Now, the second answers were a bit weaker. So they would have been closer to a band 6.5 level. So what you want to do is you want to be consistent. So for the next 2 weeks before your exam, what I want you to practice is having consistency in the level of your answers, because at your English, you should be aiming for a 758. Okay, so when I asked you, for instance, how have school curriculum changed? This is present perfect. You should always reflect that with a strong present perfect right away. And this is a tip for everybody. So you should start by saying it has changed a lot. School curriculum is always changing. It has changed a lot. And whenever we're talking about change over time, especially these days, your first thought should always be, do you know what your first thought should always be when you're thinking about change from past until now in society around the world? Is
I think it should
technology. I'm gonna just throw it out. It's technology. It has changed a lot, and then right away you can say technology has created
innovation.
Technology has created much change in school subjects.
Yeah, like the back in days at school time, we were not taught about the coding, but now as you see students in class grade 5 or 6, they are also.
Let me interject for 1 second. You're doing great, and everybody else who's answering in this way, you're doing fantastic. However, what they're really looking for in the IELTS is that grammar of the questions. The questions present perfect have, so immediately use have. So it has changed a lot. Technology has created much change. In the past, they focused on core subjects like math and physics, but these days, teachers have been teaching a lot about computers and coding and financial management. Okay, so use that present perfect at least 2-3 times to really show the examiner that you're using that grammar. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
And one more question that I want to ask is that sometimes when the examiner asks a question and you want to make up the idea, and suddenly you just forgot the question. What was the question about?
Yeah, you can do this. Good question. Yeah, it's a great question. Common situation.
Does it give a bad impression on the
Yeah, it does.
examiner?
Of course it does. Yeah. So anytime that your conversation becomes confusing or incoherent, yeah, it does. So if you're giving an answer and then you're going off track, or you forget what you want to say, or you forget what the question was, and you start to become incoherent, absolutely. Yeah, it will have a negative effect on your mark, but you can correct that. Okay. So, and this happens to people. So you can say a lot of different ways you can correct it. Remember, it's a conversation. So you can say, I'm sorry, I'm a bit nervous and I'm going off track. Okay. And I'm going off track. Would you mind asking me the question again?
Yeah. Okay. That's
Okay, so you can use that. It's a conversation. You can be yourself, be natural. So I suddenly forgot the question and I'm rambling. So these are all expressions and ways that you can fix this situation. Rambling means that you're just talking about unclear information. So I suddenly forgot the question. I'm rambling. Can you please ask me again? Okay, now using this once or twice is absolutely okay. Don't use it for every question. That will become very strange and awkward, but you can definitely use it once or twice. Can you please ask me again? Okay, so just repeat these after me. I'd like everybody to practice this because it does happen to people, especially in the IELTS, because people are nervous. So try this one, okay? And your English is very good, so try to do it just from hearing me say this. Try not to read it, okay? I'm sorry, I'm a bit nervous and I've gone off track. Would you mind asking me that question again?
Okay, sure.
Just repeat me.
What was the?
One more time. Here we go.
Sorry,
Just a
I
sec.
just
One more
gone
time.
out of the track.
No.
Could
Stop.
you please,
I'm going to do it again. Okay, listen really carefully. Watch the grammar. I'm sorry, I'm a bit nervous. I've gone off track. Can you ask me the question again?
Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. I have gone out of track. Could you please ask me the question again?
Yes, almost. The expression is I have gone off track.
I have gone off the track.
Not the track. I have gone off track.
Okay. I have gone off the track.
No, not the. There's no the. No article. Okay? Just gone off track or going off track.
Gone off track. I have gone off track.
Good. Okay? Or if you can't remember that expression, that's fine. Use this one. So listen and repeat. I suddenly forgot the question and I'm rambling. Can you please ask me again?
I suddenly forgot the question. I'm rambling. Could you please repeat the question?
Okay? Or ask me again.
Okay, ask me again.
Okay, so we're trying not to repeat words. All right, so that was, sorry, that was important for everybody, okay? Because it does happen and it's definitely better to clarify the situation, give a clear answer, and then move on, okay? You do not want to just suddenly and awkwardly stop. It will hurt your mark. Yes, that was a good question. Thank you so much for volunteering, Pawasha. I wish you good studies. Make sure to come back over the next few days before your exam, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me the chance.
You're very welcome. Bye, Pawasha. Give Pawasha a thumbs up. That was really good. Okay. So nice work by Pawasha. Nice English. So Pawasha, you should be aiming for an 8. Okay. All right. Let's take somebody else. Let's see, who else do we have here? Let's try somebody else who might be new to our group here. Let's try Supreme. Supreme. It says it's my first time. Supreme, are you ready? Okay. Let's see if Supreme is here. Hang in there, everybody. We've got a bit of time. Supreme, if you're there, let me know. Okay, I'm liking the hearts and the thumbs up and the claps. That's great. Supreme, if you're still with us, if you've hung in there, if you're still watching, let me know because your chance is now. So there you are. All right, hopefully we can connect. Here we go. Hello, Supreme. I hear that you picked up, but I don't hear your voice. Again, students, especially if it's your first time, like with Pawasha, make sure you're checking your connections and reaching out to other users as well. Sometimes just refreshing the page might work. Okay. Supreme, let's try that. I'm going to hang up, refresh the page, and then let's try this one more time. So refresh your page. I'm going to send you another message. Okay, so refresh the page on your end. And then once you've done that, send me a message like I did it. Oh, I'll refresh my page as well. Okay, here. There we go. Okay, and then we'll try this one more time if I can still see you in there. Oh, I don't even see you. So, oh, no, there you are. Okay. Oh, there you are. Yes, I see you. Okay, you've done it. Let's try it. Sometimes the internet just needs a bit of a reboot. Supreme, are you with me? I can't hear you, so maybe not. All right. I don't hear you. So check your connection, check your settings, come back later, okay? And then we'll try it again another time. Okay, let's see who else is here. Send me a message again, everybody, because I refreshed my page. So if you want to volunteer, let me know. Here we go. Chandan, are you ready? It should work for most people. Yuka, I see you there as well. Okay, Chandan, if you're there, let me know. I do see the hi, sir. Here we are. All right. Oh, Masala, I see that you got a 7. That's awesome. Chandan, I hear you too. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Hi, sir.
All right. Hi, Chandan. Just give me 2 seconds. Masala, we're just congratulating Masala here because Masala's been a long-time student and got an overall band 7 in the IELTS. So congratulations, Masala. All right, Chandan, I am with you. What's your target for the IELTS, Chandan? What kind of a band score would you like to get?
I like to get 6.5, not less than 6, sir.
Okay, 6.5, not less than 6. So aim for a 7, just like Masala. Masala, send me a testimonial. Chandan, if you get a band 7, send me a testimonial too, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, I'm going to help you get there. Chandan, where are you calling from?
So I am from Nepal.
From Nepal.
Nepal.
All right. Why are you taking the IELTS?
So I am taking for abroad for Canada for master degree in civil engineering.
Master's degree. There's a nice full sentence answer. So taking it for a master's degree in civil engineering in Canada. Do you know what university you want to go to?
I know the place at Toronto.
Ooh.
I am searching for the university, but till now I have not find the exact one.
Okay, I thought for a second that you were saying University of Toronto. It's one of the best schools in Canada
Because,
and in the world.
2 days ago, my small brother went there.
Oh, wow. Your younger brother. Awesome. Inspiration. That's great. I have 2 brothers, so I can empathize with you. Okay, Chandan, well, let's get into some part 3 questions. It's fantastic. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready. It's my first time.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Here we go. Let's talk about good teachers.
But from Nepal, there is a big issue for the paying. I have also sent the message in the inbox yesterday.
Yeah, okay. We'll check that out. Chandan, don't worry about it. Just focus on the questions. Focus on giving me some good answers, explanations, examples, okay? Ready?
Ready, sir.
Here we go. Let's talk about good teachers. What qualities should a good teacher have?
To my way of thinking, I think good teacher have a capacity to teach in a unique style that the student can actually know in the first time.
How do these qualities help students to learn better?
If the teacher can teach in a unique style, then all the students now in a modern era, then student can know the unique things in a certain way, and they can implement in their life too. So there is a easy way for all the students to catch new things in a unique style.
Can you give examples?
Such as if teachers teach some like computer, about computer, if teacher gives the examples like drawing in a different way, and by drawing symbols of computer in a whiteboard, then student can catch easily if the drawing are easy for the students.
Okay, I'm going to stop there for a second. So that would be about a band 5.5 to a 6. Okay, so I'll tell you what the examiner is thinking here. So the examiner is thinking, okay, kind of fluent, but broken information at the same time.
Yeah, I know, sir. Overall,
So
my speaking is bad.
it's not bad. Don't be so hard on yourself. So lots of you have lots of vocabulary, but put together
I
in an
saw
awkward
your
way.
I saw your video 2 months ago. All of the live video. I am continue with your live video all
Have you
days.
been watching the karaoke style videos? So we've been putting up these videos where I'm basically conducting a speaking interview with you, the viewer, where I'm like asking you questions, and then there's
I have not
subtitles that kind of
checked.
look like karaoke. Have you seen those ones?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay, I'm going to put the link because we just put a new one up last week, and I'm going to put the link into, like, those videos are pretty popular. There's tens of thousands of people that watch them, but not as many people watch them as the interview videos, which is kind of strange because those videos, in my humble opinion, are extremely useful, and we have a playlist for them. They're called karaoke POV speaking videos. Find that playlist. I just put the link for this video, it's this one here, into the chat. The reason I'm talking about this, it's absolutely not it kind of sounds like I'm doing a sales pitch or something, but it's not. There's a reason I'm telling you this. So with these
I am
videos, they will fix this issue that you have where you're using lots of words, you've got some good ideas, but they're not making sense. Like it's not clear for the listener, right?
no more
So
time, sir. I have only 20 days to go for exam. I am taking
20
exam on
days is
Jan.
not bad. 20 days is not bad, Chandan. You just have to really practice. What I would do if I were you is I would get these karaoke videos, even if you don't use the premium course and you just want to use the freeware on YouTube. Watch this or bookmark this this video list of these karaoke speaking interview practice videos, and follow the subtitles, because the subtitles, when you keep using them every day, they will help you to organize your ideas and words in a better way so that you make a lot more sense and so that you can get that band 6.5 or 7. Okay. Let me give you a little bit more on this. So I said, what qualities should a good teacher have? Always pay attention to plurals. So qualities means more than one. And then you started by saying, to my way of thinking. So it's already kind of an awkward start. Instead of saying, to my way of thinking, just start by saying, good teachers should have. Okay, use the question. So good teachers should have a capacity to teach in a unique style. So the student can not know the first time. That's, again, a little bit awkward. Can know the first time. It's like, what are we talking about? So can pick up the information, or can understand the information. Understand the information the first time they see it. So it needs to finish. Sometimes you're not finishing your ideas. Okay. And that's just one. That's one idea. But we said qualities, right? So it's more than one. Okay. Also, an effective teacher should use technology, for instance, in the classroom to make learning more effective. Okay, so what I want you to do, Chandan, is just repeat these sentences after me. Okay, I'm going to say one sentence, repeat it. Then I'll say the second sentence, repeat it. This is exercise for everyone. Okay, are you ready, Chandan?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay, good teachers should have a capacity to teach in a unique style so the student can understand the information the first time they see it.
Good teachers should have a capacity to teach in a unique style so the student can understand the information the first time they see it.
Also, an effective teacher should use technology in the classroom to make learning more effective.
Also, an effective teacher
Still there, Chandan? I don't don't hear Chandan. Hopefully Chandan's still there. Chandan, if you can hear me, just repeat me. I'm going to say it one more time, and I replace the second effective with a different word so we're not being repetitive. Again, this is for everybody, so repeat after me. Also, an effective teacher should use technology in the classroom to make learning more interesting. Okay, so that's what you want to do. And when you watch those karaoke style POV speaking videos, that's exactly what you can do. It will even show you the pacing and the intonation on how to give the answers. So it's a great way to learn, okay? Chandan, I think we got disconnected on your side. I'm going to refresh the page here. We've got a lot of students in on the chat. So I'm going to refresh the page. It should work now for a lot of people again. I think our service was interrupted here, but again, check out the website for this, students. Okay. All right. So I refreshed the page and we're in here again. If you see me, I think one of the reasons this might be happening is because we have so many students joining in all at the same time. So I'll check our server settings with our developers after to see if we can up the speed and the capacity so we can handle more and more students. It's a good problem to have. Okay. All right. Let's take one more student. So Game seems to be a new student as well. Game says, Sensei, can you choose me? Game, are you ready? Okay. Chandan, you did a good job, and everybody give Chandan a thumbs up. All right, that was he was putting his heart out there and he was doing a good job. Chandan, lots of repetition work, okay, to fix those oddities. Hi, Game. Can you mute YouTube?
Hey, Adrian.
Perfect. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, thanks. Should I keep calling you Game, or do you have another nickname or name?
No, it's fine. You can call me just Game. That'll be fine.
Just call you Game. All right.
Yeah.
You know why that is a bit of an awkward handle, Game? Because you're thinking like, is that your name, Game?
No, it's not really my name.
Okay.
This is just like an alias.
Okay. When we call a living creature Game, do you know what that means?
Not really.
Okay. So there's two definitions for game. A lot of people think about game like gaming, right? Is that what you're thinking about, like playing a game?
Yeah.
Okay. But that's not what it means when you're talking about a living creature. Okay, so just to give you an FYI before you go too far with this, does anybody else know? It's an interesting question. Sometimes we have fun in class as well. So does anybody know the other definition of game? Let's see if somebody knows it in the chat. So one definition is like playing a game, like a video game. And then there's another definition that's very different. Anybody know what that is? I'll give you a hint. We'll say, for example, game meat. Game meat. Do you know what that means? Game? No?
Not really.
Okay, game meat is hunted meat. Okay, so for example, deer, grouse, if you hunt turkey. Okay, so any kind of meat that we hunt and not farm is called game meat. Okay.
Interesting.
So yeah, so if you're calling yourself game, it can be misinterpreted like you are the prey. Okay, so it's like prey, predator. Okay, so it's kind of an interesting handle, especially if you're using it in some kind of first-person shooter. Because if you're the game, it means everybody else is the hunter. Okay, so you never know. Somebody might want to use it that way, but keep in mind the multiple definitions. Okay.
Oh well. Yep.
All right.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. It's important to know that. All right. So, game. Then I am the examiner and you're my candidate. I'm hunting you. How do you feel about that? A
All
little bit
right.
nervous? Yeah, but that's okay.
I'm excited.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. So I will ask you a question and give me a nice answer, and then we'll analyze it after. Okay. Are you ready?
I'll try. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Just do your best. Here we go. So let's talk about good teachers.
All right. So,
What are effective ways to evaluate the quality of teachers?
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. So there are a lot of ways through which we can evaluate teachers. First of all, they should have a good grammar. They should know their subject. It's really important that they are able to teach the students clearly, and they should have the mastery in both their languages, and should have depth knowledge of the vocabs and the rules of the language and other subjects that they are trying to teach. Also, teachers should have patience with their students. That is one of the most important things a teacher should have, because sometimes there are a lot of students who are not really. I think that should be enough, or like I can keep on going.
Are these evaluations always accurate?
Um, Pardon?
So are these always accurate?
Like not really, I guess, if I'm really reading the question again.
Okay, good. So here it's a bit tricky. I think you misunderstood the question, and that's fine. No need to worry about this because it's the last question on the question sheet, and these are always the most difficult. So if you're doing a good job in the IELTS speaking and they keep asking you more and more questions, the questions will get more and more difficult, okay? So, for you, it's not fair, right? Because you're like, I just volunteered. Why do I get the most difficult question, right? Well, it's just the way it works sometimes. But don't worry about it. Here's a trick, okay? So especially when you're in your IELTS exam, and you're hearing the last couple questions, really pay attention to make sure that you understand it, because they are usually the most difficult questions. If you're not sure, then buy some time or ask them to repeat it, right? So you might say something like, that's an interesting question. Let me think for a moment. And then really think about it and then start. Let me ask you this question again, and I'll help you a little bit, okay? So what are effective ways to evaluate the quality of teachers? So think about how you can ask this another way. Another way we can ask this is, what can I do to learn or understand if my teacher is a good teacher or a bad teacher? So what can I do to learn this information if the teacher is good or bad? What do you think? So if I ask you this another way, now in the IELTS, the examiner will never paraphrase. They will only repeat the question. So what are effective ways to evaluate the quality of good teachers? It's a tricky question. Pay really attention to what it's looking for. So how do I know if my teacher...
If the teacher is confident in teaching, and a good teacher manages the classroom effectively, if you see like they're managing the students effectively, then they're really good. And a good teacher is always prepared.
Okay. Look at the thread, what people are saying. So some people are saying through exams. So teachers are also evaluated, right? Not just students. And one way that we know if a teacher is good or not is the performance of students, right? So let me give you an answer. You don't have to repeat exactly what I say. Just think about the concepts and then repeat. I'll ask you the question again. This is a tricky one, everybody. So pay attention here, okay? So one way to assess the quality of a teacher is to look at the performance of students. If the teacher's former students have good exam results and have high-paying jobs, it is likely that they're a very effective teacher. Okay, did you follow me there?
I did.
Okay, so now you understand the question clearer, right? What we're actually looking for here. Okay, so here's the question again. What are effective ways to evaluate the quality of teachers? Try it again, game. You can use the same information that I just gave, just word it differently. Use your own words.
Yeah, I'm trying. This is the only problem. Like, it's really hard for me to think.
Yeah. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do, because you know why, and I'm going to tell everybody this so that you get a little bit more confidence here. Game, first of all, your English is very good. You're very fluent. You've got a lot of vocabulary. Your band score, as long as you're answering accurately, will easily be a 7.5, even an 8 or an 8.5, okay? But what you need to do is you need to have good ideas and answer accurately. That's why I'm pushing you for this. So that's why I'm not trying to correct your grammar or... Okay.
Doing here, like I'm just trying to get the better thought process and stuff.
Exactly. So you want to avoid words like saying stuff or you. And so what I'm focusing on with you is your communication, so we can push your communication to that band 8, 8.5 level. Okay, so one more time, I'm going to repeat my response. Think about it. And I'm going to even add a little bit more information to help you even further, and then you can respond. So here's the question. What are effective ways to evaluate the quality of teachers? Well, good ways to assess the efficiency and the value of teachers is to look at the performance of former students, their exam results, and their career paths. If those students had high exam results and are in high-paying jobs, then it's probably that the teacher was quite good. Also, feedback from parents. When parents say that the teacher is good and there's a lot of agreement, it tends to mean they're a high-quality teacher. Okay, so what are effective ways to evaluate the quality of teachers?
There are quite a few different ways that we can evaluate a teacher, and some of them are we can see the results of students, how much they have scored. We can check the feedbacks from the parents as well, and if the students, we can check the student as well, like where did they land at their jobs.
Perfect.
What
And
was
stop
the
there. And even just stop there. That's good. Okay. And now you can elaborate and give examples, all right? So now you're on the right track. You answered with your own words. You answered very differently. And that answer will get you a band 8, 8.5, no problem. But you have to make sure it's correct. So what you need to pay attention to is not your English, not your vocabulary, your grammar, but the content, right? So especially when you get to these last few questions in the IELTS speaking interview, because likely with your English and anybody out there who's watching, if you have a similar level of English, they will get to a couple of questions near the end of the interview, which will sound kind of awkward. I hear this from students all the time. They're like, they ask me the weirdest question at the end of the interview. It's because they're trying to see, like, can this person manage an unexpected question? Can I give them a band 9 with their thinking and their communication? Okay, so expect these and practice these. All right, game?
Absolutely.
All right, keep coming back. Keep practicing with me, okay?
Appreciated. Like, you're just amazing, and I've been following you for the past few days, and like, trust me, you're one of the best teachers on YouTube.
Your exam results will confirm that. Right, All right.
Thank you.
Okay,
All right,
bye,
bye-bye.
game. Have a great day. Because I'm evaluated just like any other teacher out there, right? Alexander, thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Viewers, students, that's it for today. But wonderful job. And game, that was your first time I was being hard on you, but that's because your English is great. So, and I could tell that, you know, you're quite confident, which is good. And you did a good job. So you deserve all those thumbs up. Students, keep using the website, keep coming back, keep watching the YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to get the premium IELTS package. Click on that big red button. You're in the right place to get those high scores. IELTS is not just about your English, it's also about your communication skills, especially for those band 7.5, 8, 8.59 marks. So learn both. We're here to teach you both. I will be back after a few days, and the next class will be on the 22nd. That's right, the 22nd of the month. Speaking part 1. Make sure to learn daily at aehelp.com, glshelp.com, and use those skills in these live classes. Sarah, thank you so much for moderating the class. I saw that you have had quite a bit of work there. That was awesome. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Thank you to our members, and thank you to our subscribers and our viewers. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria. Much love to all of you, wherever you are in the world. Bye for now.